Do you keep most of your food in the refrigerator because you believe it keeps everything safe and fresh? For many people, the refrigerator feels like the safest place in the kitchen. If something might spoil, the natural instinct is simple: put it in the fridge. But what if that habit is quietly working against your health? What most people don't realize is that certain everyday foods react very differently to cold temperatures. Instead of protecting them, refrigeration can sometimes trigger chemical changes inside the food itself. These changes are not obvious. You cannot taste them. You cannot smell them. But over time, your body remembers. Nutritionists and food safety researchers warn that storing some foods the wrong way may damage important nutrients or allow harmful compounds to form. Some of these changes have even been linked to inflammation, digestive problems, and long-term health risks such as cognitive decline. And the most surprising part is this: many of these foods are items people refrigerate every single day without thinking twice. In this video, we'll uncover 5 common foods that should not be stored in the refrigerator. You'll learn what actually happens inside these foods when they are chilled, and how a simple storage change can help protect your health. And stay with us until the end, because the final food on this list is something found in nearly every household refrigerator. Once you understand the science behind it, you may never store it the same way again. Let's begin. Number 1, potatoes. Most people store potatoes in the refrigerator because it seems logical. Cold temperatures slow spoilage for many foods, so it feels like the safest option. But potatoes behave very differently. When potatoes are kept in cold temperatures, their natural starch begins converting into sugar. This change happens quietly. From the outside, the potato may look completely normal. The problem appears when the potato is cooked. When these sugars are exposed to high heat, such as frying, roasting, or baking, they can react with amino acids to form a compound called acrylamide. Food safety researchers have studied this compound for years. Higher exposure has been linked to nerve damage and may increase the risk of certain cancers. The danger is invisible. Acrylamide has no smell and no taste. Over time, repeated exposure may increase oxidative stress in the body. For older adults, this is particularly important because the brain becomes more sensitive to cellular damage as we age. Cold storage can also change how potatoes affect blood sugar. When starch converts to sugar, the body may absorb it more quickly, which can lead to sharper spikes in blood glucose. For people managing diabetes or insulin resistance, this can quietly create additional strain on the body. Another concern is sprouting. Potatoes stored in cold environments often develop green patches or sprouts. These areas contain solanine, a natural toxin that can irritate the digestive system and affect the nervous system in larger amounts. Fortunately, the solution is simple. Potatoes should be stored in a cool, dark, and dry place, such as a pantry or cabinet. A paper bag works well because it allows air circulation while protecting them from light. When stored properly, potatoes maintain their natural starch balance and nutritional value. Sometimes the smallest kitchen habit can quietly influence your health for years to come. Number 2, onions. Onions are another food many people automatically place in the refrigerator. The thinking is simple: colder temperatures should keep them fresh longer. But refrigerators create a damp environment, and onions absorb moisture easily. When onions take in excess moisture, their structure begins to break down. Their layers soften, their flavor changes, and the natural sulfur compounds inside them start degrading. These sulfur compounds are responsible for both the flavor of onions and many of their health benefits. When they break down, they may irritate the digestive system and contribute to inflammation if consumed repeatedly over time. Moisture also creates a perfect environment for mold and bacteria. Inside a closed refrigerator space, microorganisms can spread quietly from one food to another. A single spoiled onion may affect nearby produce without you even noticing. There is also the issue of nutrient loss. Onions contain an antioxidant called quercetin. Researchers believe this compound may help protect brain cells from oxidative stress and support long-term cognitive health. But when onions sit in cold, damp conditions, their cellular structure weakens and some of these protective nutrients begin to degrade.
In other words, refrigeration may slowly strip onions of the very compounds that make them beneficial. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, comment number 2 below so we know you're here. And if you enjoy learning practical health insights like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos. The best way to store onions is simple. Keep them in a cool, dry place with good airflow. A mesh bag or basket works well because it allows moisture to escape. Small changes like this may seem minor today, but over time, they help protect the health of your body and your brain. Number 3, tomatoes. Tomatoes are one of the most commonly refrigerated foods. Almost every household places them in the produce drawer without thinking twice. But tomatoes are extremely sensitive to cold temperatures. Even after being harvested, tomatoes remain biologically active. Their enzymes continue developing flavor, aroma, and nutrients as they ripen. Refrigeration interrupts that natural process. Cold temperatures damage the enzymes responsible for flavor and texture. Over time, the internal structure of the tomato begins to break down. That is why refrigerated tomatoes often become soft, watery, and bland. But taste is only part of the issue. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant linked to heart health and protection against oxidative stress in the brain. Researchers believe lycopene may help protect cells from inflammation and age-related damage. When tomatoes are stored in cold temperatures, these protective compounds may gradually lose their effectiveness. There is also another concern. Refrigerators often contain small amounts of condensation. When tomatoes absorb this moisture through their delicate skin, it may allow bacteria to develop more easily. For older adults with more sensitive immune systems, this can become a hidden risk. Fortunately, storing tomatoes correctly is simple. They should be kept at room temperature, preferably stem side up, in a dry area away from direct sunlight. This allows them to ripen naturally while preserving both flavor and nutritional value. Sometimes the healthiest choice is simply allowing food to behave the way nature designed it. Number 4, garlic. Garlic has been valued for centuries as both food and medicine. Researchers have studied its potential benefits for immune health, heart function, and inflammation control. But refrigeration can quietly weaken many of these benefits. When garlic is placed in the refrigerator, cold temperatures and moisture encourage it to sprout. A green shoot often forms inside the clove. This sprouting signals that the garlic's chemistry is changing. One of garlic's most important compounds is allicin. This natural substance forms when garlic is crushed or chopped and contributes to its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. Cold storage can interfere with the enzymes that produce this compound. Over time, refrigerated garlic may lose some of the properties that make it valuable for health. Moisture can also encourage mold or bacterial growth. In rare cases, certain bacteria can produce toxins that affect the nervous system. If you're still watching and learning something new, comment number 4 below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider supporting the channel so we can continue sharing trusted health information. Garlic prefers a much simpler environment. It should be stored in a cool, dry place with good airflow, such as an open bowl or basket on the counter. When stored this way, garlic can last for weeks while preserving its natural oils and beneficial compounds. Sometimes the most powerful health habits are also the simplest. Number 5, bread. Bread is another food many people automatically place in the refrigerator. The goal is usually simple, to keep it fresh longer and prevent mold. But refrigeration actually causes bread to deteriorate faster. Inside bread, starch molecules slowly reorganize when exposed to cold temperatures. This process causes bread to become dry, firm, and stale much more quickly. But texture is not the only concern. Cold environments can create condensation inside bread packaging. That trapped moisture can encourage the growth of mold and microscopic fungi. Some molds produce compounds known as mycotoxins. Researchers have studied these substances because long-term exposure has been linked to inflammation and damage to sensitive tissues in the body. In particular, scientists have explored how some mycotoxins may affect the liver and nervous system. The difficulty is that mold toxins can spread beyond visible spots. Even if only one slice appears moldy, microscopic compounds may already be present throughout the loaf. For older adults, this matters because the body becomes less efficient at detoxifying harmful substances over time. Fortunately, prevention is simple. Bread should be stored at room temperature in a breathable paper or cloth bag. This allows excess moisture to escape and helps slow mold growth. If you buy more bread than you can eat within a few days, freezing is a much better option than refrigeration. Freezing preserves freshness without triggering the same chemical changes. Take a moment and think about your refrigerator. How many of these foods are inside it right now? Potatoes, onions, tomatoes, garlic, bread. Most people refrigerate them out of habit. They believe they are protecting freshness. But as we've seen today, some foods react very differently to cold storage. Refrigeration can change their chemistry, reduce valuable nutrients, and sometimes create conditions where harmful compounds develop. Disease rarely appears overnight. It often grows slowly, shaped by the habits we repeat every day. The encouraging truth is that those habits can change. By storing foods the way nature intended, you help preserve nutrients, support digestion, and protect the long-term health of your brain and body. Small decisions matter. Your body remembers them. And the power to make better choices is still in your hands. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating trusted health guidance designed to help you live longer, stronger, and with greater awareness. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.